Typically, we'll ferment a dough somewhere at around 80 degrees, and that's for a good gradual fermentation. Let's say it'll take 2 hours for that dough to rise and double in size through at 80 degrees. Well, yeast is sensitive to the degree that every 17 degrees Fahrenheit doubles the rate of fermentation. So a dough that would double in size at 80 degrees at 97 degrees, if we add 17 degrees at 97 degrees, that dough will double in size in 1 hour instead of 2 hours. Or if you go the other way, if you ferment it at a cooler temperature, let's subtract 17 from 80, and we get down to 63 degrees, it's going to take 4 hours instead of 2 hours for it to ferment. Experience a taste of Italy in your own backyard. From Neapolitan-style pizzas to succulent roasted meats, Forno Bravo does it all. Now, when you get to 40 degrees, all bets are off because that's when the yeast goes to sleep. It goes dormant. And there may be a slight bit of activity, but you can chill a dough below 40 and hold it for days without seeing much yeast activity. The bacteria is sensitive in the same way. It's a little bit more tolerant. It acts more slowly, mainly because in most doughs, even if you use a sourdough starter, there's far less bacteria organisms than there are yeast organisms. A teaspoon of yeast, of powdered yeast, has thousands and thousands and maybe even millions of yeast cells. A dough, like the size of a sourdough starter, we'll say the size of a softball, that may have a couple thousand bacterial organisms. It also has wild yeast and other, organisms besides bacteria. So there's less of them, so they take longer to act upon the product. But the temperature is one of the things that increases or decreases the speed. So time and temperature are critical components. I think of it as this. The baking triangle is time, temperature, and ingredients. Those are the cardinal points of the triangle. In the center is the word baking. So what's happening is to do the baking, any activity that we do that changes any of the points of the triangle will affect the other points of the triangle. So you change the temperature, then you'd have to adjust the time. The ingredients themselves, some are more sensitive to fermentation temperatures than others. If it's got natural sugars, the sugars will ferment. If the sugars are trapped in the starches, like they often are with flour, then you'd have to allow time for the starches to release those sugars through enzyme activity. So all these things are it's a drama that's going on inside the baking triangle that we're not aware of. It's doing its own drama. We're just the author of it. We're the one that are sort of the observer, and we create the environment in which it can happen. So that's fermentation. Part 2 is the effect of time and temperature on microorganisms and how, again, they affect the transformation of the ingredients themselves that we're ultimately going to eat and enjoy. I'm Peter Reinhart. May your crust be crisp and your bread always rise.